Hello, my cookies. Welcome to Russell Cooks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, I have something special. Tomahawk steaks. I was walking through my supermarket, just perusing, and then boom, the eyes pop out, tongue rolls out. I see these things. I couldn't say no. I bought 3 of them. We're going to have to grill them up. It's the only way to do it. I do have to do sort of a reverse sear, but that's okay. It will take a little bit longer than just straight up grilling them, but I think we're going to do them justice. At the same time, I'm going to grill up a poblano, some corn, some zucchini, make a nice little salad, maybe add some tomatoes into it. I'm also going to make a potent green sauce. It goes great with the meat. If you don't end up using it all, you can mix it in some rice. It's just overall a great sauce. First things first, let's gather our ingredients. I'm bringing out the tomahawks. I've pulled them out at room temperature and I already salted them. I'm gonna pat them dry. They're almost 2 pounds each, close to 3 inches thick. For the corn salad, you're gonna need a couple ears of corn, zucchini, poblano. This scales, so if you want to add more corn and zucchini and poblano, you absolutely can. I also got some grape tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes work great. I also have some crumbled feta, and I don't think I'm gonna need it, but I have mayonnaise just in case I want to make it a little bit more cohesive. And of course, the butter. I also have a little bit of basil and cilantro. We'll see. I'm leaning a little bit towards the basil, but cilantro I think will complement our green sauce a little bit more. Now for the sauce, we're gonna need a few different things. I got some cilantro here, some garlic, some Aleppo pepper, some olive oil, and some red wine vinegar. This is a really simple sauce. Before I get started, I'm gonna pat these steaks dry, and I gotta get them on the grill. So I'm preheating just half of my grill. And I'm trying to get the oven temp, if you will, of the grill up to about 250 degrees. So I'm gonna adjust the knobs a little bit. Let's head out to the grill. Welcome to my grill. I have these 2 burners turned on. So this side is going to be ripping hot. It's actually a little bit too hot. It's a little over 300 degrees. So I'm just going to turn these down. This is where I'm going to sear the corn and the zucchini and the poblano. So I'm just going to turn them down. I'm going to try and just get it back down to 250 degrees. I am going to put my meat on this side far away from those burners as possible. I'm going to reverse sear. So we want to bring it up to about 105, 110 degrees. And then I'm going to get it on the really, really hot part. And we're going to get a perfect crust. That is going to take, it depends on the thickness of your steaks. Could take an hour, could take an hour and a half. I'm going to start at about an hour. We'll temp it then and we'll go from there. Let's head back inside. For the veg here, I've got my zucchini, my poblano, and I'm not really going to do much. I've already rinsed these off and washed them. I'm just going to cut this zucchini in half. So we're just going to kind of rub these down in oil and get them on the grill. I don't like to salt them now. I'll salt them after the fact. My oven temperature's down a little bit. That's perfect. I'm going to try and open and close this as little as possible. This side's going to be ripping hot. I've already cleaned it and oiled it. So I'm just going to get the corn, zucchini, poblano on. We want to get a little bit of char. It's going to take 5 to 10 minutes depending on the corn, zucchini, and the poblano. Not all at the same time. Next up is our green sauce. Let's get our ingredients. I got my Vitamix here. I have about 1 bunch of cilantro. I'm just going to cut off the bottom of the stems. You can leave some of these other stems in. That's fine. You're going to need some red wine vinegar. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons in here. I really want it to pop. It's going to complement those rich steaks. I'm going to put 1, 2. Next up, I got some cloves of garlic. I got 3 small cloves. If you got bigger cloves, do less. You're gonna toss them in. Let the Vitamix do all the work. If you end up putting a little bit too much red wine vinegar in, it's fine. You can balance it with more oil. Now for the Aleppo pepper, I like a heavy pinch here. All right, I love the flavor of Aleppo. So a pinch is like a 1/16 of a teaspoon. I'm doing closer to a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna get that in there. Oh, it just smells so good. I love it. And finally, I'm gonna add some olive oil, but I'm not gonna add it right at the start. The longer olive oil is in the blender, the more bitter it becomes. You're really aerating it. We don't want a bitter sauce. So let's start with this. Let's see how we do. Just gonna let that go for a little bit, have everything get chopped up. Scrape down the sides. Let's keep going. I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna probably add a total of ½ a cup. Here's my ½ cup. We just gotta not over mix it. Almost there. All right, now with it running, I'm gonna add even more olive oil. We're probably up to 2/3 a cup total now. Perfect. Just look at how bright green that is. Just put in about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm flying from the hip today. No notes, nothing. Let me give this a little taste. I'm gonna add a touch more red wine vinegar and a teeny bit more of the Aleppo. I'm going to add maybe about ½ a teaspoon more of this Aleppo. Mix it up. Let's go check on that corn. What I'm looking for is a little bit of char on both these. Boom, we got it with the poblano. That's perfect. Check out these zucchini. Nice grill marks. And the corn, we got some char. Let's continue on this side for another few minutes. Our corn and zucchini and poblano are going to go into this bowl, but first I'm going to add any herbs last. I don't want them to wilt. The butter, I don't mind because it's going to melt. I'm going to get maybe a tablespoon or two. Let's go with 2. Why not? YOLO. I'm going to put in about half my feta. This is only a few ounces of feta. Don't need to go overboard. Then, of course, I got my grape tomatoes, which I love because they're in season all the time. And I think they're going to add some nice freshness to this. I'm just going to quarter these, get them in the bowl. Dude, let's do about 10 of them. They're really big. You can always cut them into sixths. I think the poblano's done, so I'm going to go get it. I'm right at 250, which is exactly what these steaks need. Teeny bit longer on the zucchini and the corn. I just want a little bit more char here. We got our poblano. Now we need to kind of chop it up, but we need to take the skin off first. I like using paper towels here. They're the easiest. Let it cool a little bit, and then you just pretty much rub off the skin with the paper towel. Just peel it off. We're gonna let that cool. I'll finish off the skin. I think this is cooled enough. Finish getting all the skin off. Chop it up. Get rid of all those seeds. I'm just gonna dice it up. It's okay if a seed or two get in there. Next up is my zucchini. Let's just dice it up. Let's get that corn. While I'm at it, I'm just gonna flip these steaks. You can already see they're turning a little bit gray. That's good. It means there's enough heat, but not so much that it's really kind of overcooking it. Again, I'm going to maintain that 250 degrees right here. I'm just going to cut the corn off the cob here and try and do it on this plate. Let's add the corn. Let's toss this around. Let's get that butter melted. Yes, look at this. The feta is kind of becoming soft. It's making this cohesive. I don't think we're going to need any mayo here. I think the butter is going to do us justice. All right, let's give this a little bit of a taste. Just need salt. That's it. And you know what? I'm actually thinking about putting a little bit of cilantro in here too. We'll put it in at the end. We'll let it cool down. But I'm going to do about a 1/4 teaspoon kosher salt, maybe an 1/8. The feta is pretty salty, which is why I waited to the end. Very nice. It's going perfect with our steaks. Let's set it aside. Let's see where we're at. We're at about 250, teeny bit high. I'm going to just drop it down just a smidge. We're in the mid 60s, so we got some time. We got about 30 more minutes. So pretty much I got my heat on over here, and I'm using this like an oven. I'm reverse-searing it. They're not going to look good yet. You guys can choose. Do I put basil in the salad or do I put cilantro? Basil. All right, we're putting basil in. So for this salad, I'm just going to add my basil now, maybe about 1.5 tablespoons. Stir it up. All right, let's head back out to the grill. Let's temp it. Let's see what we got. It's about 98 degrees. Perfect. I'm going to turn this off. Let's get my sear station going here. It's going to take about 4 minutes to heat up. Now, this was hot over here. I'm going to put my bones. I'm going to put my bones over this way. They can become overcooked. They can burn. I don't want that. And it's okay if it's not a huge sizzle. You have dried out the outside. That is perfectly fine. We just want to get some really nice browning here. But I don't want to overcook it. Oh, we got a little bit of that fat dripping down, causing the flames just to come up and give it a nice little lick, but we don't want a fire going. Too much fire and it'll taste like gasoline. You don't want that. All right, let's temp it. We're at 110, 111. I think it's going to be a little on the rare side, but I'm okay with that. All right, here we go. Look at these puppies. I like to let them rest half the amount of time that they cooked. And you're like, Russell, they were on the grill for like an hour and a half. That's because I started low and slow. I'm not counting that. I'll probably let these rest about 10 minutes. I like to put a little bit of butter on top, and this just helps it glisten. My dog is going bonkers here. Look at these steaks. Well, here we go. 123. Perfect. All right, let's spread this butter around. I'm going to let these rest 5 to 10 minutes. Now let's plate. Now you know what you do? Do a little bit of the shabah. Just like that. A little bit more. Shabah. Shabah. We got it. Let's get our corn salad on here. All right, now this is where if you want a little extra feta, you can put a little extra feta on top. Let's bring in this tomahawk right here. All right, what do we think of that? Should we cut into it? What do you think? There's a little gristle, there's a little fat. That's fine. we'll eat around it. And you know what? I'll trim a little bit of this off. Here you go, pup. Merry Christmas. Try to do a little Salt Bay action. Here, I'll give him some more. Sit. Touch. Yes. Thank you. Good boy. All right, let's dig in here. I'm just going to get a little piece of steak right here. Look at this. A little bit of this sauce. Rich, fatty steak. And then that bright sauce. It's so bright. The olive oil keeps it kind of balanced. We get a little bit of that red wine vinegar. The cilantro, the garlic, they come through. Let's try a little bit of this corn. Grilled corn, grilled zucchini, grilled poblano salad here. A little feta in there. So good. I love it. This is a complete meal. Summertime. Hashtag summertime. Thanks so much for tuning in. That was grilled tomahawk steaks with a grilled corn, zucchini, and poblano salad. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, don't forget to follow me on Twitch. I'm also on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope to see you next time. Take care.